Camille, thanks again for joining me today. It's been a year since the last event, and it looks like you're doing it again.
That's right. Clyde, we wanted this to be an annual event. Our goal by between year 7 and 10 is we want to get to 38 million Canadians walking. So it's a very aggressive goal. We think we can get it done. And the reason why we think we can get it done is we have a lot of confidence behind the scenes. Obviously, the country has so many opinions on so many things going around in the world. We do have a lot of opinions. Canadians come from all creeds and colors, but Canadians know that we are one nation under God, one nation, one flag, and that's the Canadian flag. We trust Canada's parents to parent Canada's kids. And this year, we're looking every September 20th, we're telling the nation that we love our kids and our kids belong to us. We don't want them to be politicized. So every September 20th, this year happens to be on a Friday, September 20th from coast to coast. We're telling parents, come take part. This is yours. The countdown begins. We also have a donate button on the top right-hand corner of the screen. Now we're a non-for-profit corporation. We're planning the Children's Festival of Canada. We're planning to do My Child June again, which completely demolished Pride June, with all due respect to the Pride community. We're not looking to paint everybody with the same
All
brush.
right. But slow down, slow down. I know you're excited. I know you're excited, but there's a lot of people that are probably tuning in right now and they don't know what's going on, what this was all about. Now, I witnessed the event that happened in Vancouver last year. It was great. There was lots of people out there. There was quite a big counter protest, maybe not as big as the one in Victoria. But there was a bit of a thing, but it was all safe and everything was good. Everyone was respectful and did their thing. But explain, what is this all about? What's it for?
Well, I mean, across the country last year, a gay imam, a purported gay imam by Al Faruqi, fabricated Muslim text and went to 4 Muslim high schools, and they surprised students, locking them up to do a forced sexual indoctrination lesson. And obviously that warranted protests, which I was part of, and the anger started there. And then we had Josh Alexander, obviously protecting the girls' washroom in high school, gets suspended. And then in Alberta, we got teachers scolding different types of students, whether they're Christian students against their will, or Muslim students telling the students go back to your country, or some teachers drag queen story hour. It penetrated throughout the country and it angered parents. And for that reason, parents came together from coast to coast and said, hey, we got a common problem here. Our kids are being targeted. So that's when we came up with the idea of the Million People March, because what's happened is people were protesting at different parts of the country, and they're just saying, hey, we all have a common problem. So we said, hey, how about we come and do this together collectively when school starts in September, and let's do something called the Million People March, which is kind of like the Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, Gandhi.
Yeah.
And let's call it the Million People March for Children. And the rest is history. We got 1.5 million Canadians from coast to coast. Parents took time off work to pull their kids out of school. It was on a Wednesday last year, and they came down in floods throughout the country. And that's the first time in the country's history that people marched together all at the same time from coast to coast. So we're going to repeat that.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, in Canada, we've had reports of teachers talking behind parents' backs, actually telling the kids to keep secrets from their parents while they're I mean, some people call this indoctrination, and I mean, in no other circumstance is that ever okay to have secrets from parents. Yeah. Why would it be in this particular case, especially with such a taboo topic of sexual things and sexual identity with minors that are, I mean, these are the people we're supposed to be protecting
Yeah.
at all costs, and it really feels like parents are at a wit's end in this country by saying we don't know if our children are safe when they're out of the house. So, something needs to be done about it.
Well, that unease you just articulated, Clyde, is the unease that every Canadian parent, 98.4% of the heterosexual community, is concerned about. Even gay parents too, right? So, um,
Mhm.
what's happened is, people are not trusting the schools. They're not trusting the politicians. I'm dropping my kids off at school, and I'm headed to work, and now I got to watch my back and watch my kids back because you guys are surprising us with a drag queen story hour. Somebody's getting hormone pills somewhere without their parents' knowledge. And there was actually an instance in my Child June campaign where I visited one of the schools. One of the teachers got so upset that 600 kids, 591 kids out of the 700, boycotted the pride flag ceremony on June the 3rd. What happened that day, that teacher tried to get parents to commit legally to hold them responsible. She terrorized parents. Now that teacher is fired because we put pressure under our
Wow.
education wing. So, and we're seeing a lot of
It's
that
almost
now.
impossible to fire a teacher with the unions.
Yeah,
It's
she resigned from the board too. So
wow, holy cow. Okay, wow, that's impressive. That really is impressive to see things actually getting done, because a lot of, like I said, people are at their wits' end. They go to the school boards, and school boards are largely, let's say, captured by
yes,
this ideological bend. We've seen in recent time that you go to the school boards and they don't want to hear it. They're all
yes,
for it.
yes, and see the reason why they're easy as she goes. Let's get the next system. Let's get the next system in because during COVID, kids were on those Google laptops, so they collected so much algorithms. They know how kids think and all that kind of stuff through artificial intelligence for 2 years, and they were able to penetrate any lesson they wanted. They felt they had all the power. They know when a kid is paying attention. Let's bring him in on a Wednesday at 2 o'clock. That's when he's paying attention most, and that's why they were able to germinate throughout the country because artificial intelligence and the technology that we have today could be used and harnessed against our will. And they tried it on parents. And that is what's concerning, is when you have that kind of a power used against parents against their will. That is incredibly concerning, man. And they're doing it again. Now they're going back to the drawing board because they saw us hold them accountable. They didn't
Mhm.
care because parents didn't ask. And now parents are asking and holding accountable. With the movement, we have something called the Education Wing, which is a new department that was opened 5 months ago. And the Education Wing, the purpose of the Education Wing is education ambassadors. We're looking to penetrate every school in the country with education ambassadors that are parents, grandparents, that are going to hold the school and boards accountable and that are going to follow up after the Million People March in My Child June and throughout the year.
That's amazing. Now, last year, uh, we had the prime minister come out and speak out against the event. He said some pretty nasty stuff about the
Yeah.
people, calling people misogynists and racists and homophobes, all this stuff. Of course, Jagmeet Singh even came out in Ottawa to protest against. He went with the
He
counter
looked me in the
protest.
eye.
Oh, you were okay. You were there for that,
So I was,
and
yeah,
oh, and
sorry.
then I was going to say, Pierre Polyev was largely quiet about it until political pressure on social media came, and he came out and said, "I don't know why Justin Trudeau and Jagmeet Singh are calling Canadian parents bad people or bad names. He should really stay out of their business," which largely is the right take in my
Yes.
opinion. To this is the whole point. The whole point is parents asking for people to stay out of their business, and whether it's your religious opinions or just the way you want to raise your kids and the things you want to teach them at given times. I mean, there's very specific things that people want to introduce their kids to at particular moments in time, and I think these teachers are overstepping by introducing these topics to children at inappropriate times. And not only that, the politicians coming out and doing this, like what a thing. What do you expect to happen this year?
Well, what we expect to happen is politicians are looking at the polls where, Jagmeet Singh just broke the coalition government, pulled a move on Pierre Poilievre. Maybe Pierre Poilievre is going to be the next prime minister. So Jagmeet Singh in Ottawa, he looked me in the eye right after bringing his kid to the House of Commons and showing him off as a parent and a proud dad and, all that kind of stuff. And then you see him in the counters looking at me and copying one of my commercials when I said, if you dare to counter us. So he looked me in the eye and he did that to me, right? And so what happened was Jagmeet Singh was countering us. Now he had the courage to come outside, but he was on the wrong side. Pierre Poilievre, I think I'm gonna call him out. You should have came. I would have, had you speak just like Maxime Bernier and Rod from the Christian Heritage Party, because we're nonpartisan. Come support us. Now, Pierre Poilievre, you're right. He mentioned something really nice, hands off the parents and all that kind of stuff. He got the message, but I think Pierre Poilievre was, one step forward, two steps back, that kind of thing. So what we're telling Pierre Poilievre, if you want to be Canada's prime minister, well, you got a lot of upset parents. So come, and you know what? If you come and join us, we'll let you to speak like any other politician. Now, we know Justin Trudeau is going to condemn us, transphobes, and call us all kinds of isms. But you know what? We're going to allow every party, even the Liberals that are not speaking and that know Justin Trudeau is wrong, will allow you to speak. Just grow some spine. We're a nonpartisan Canadian initiative.
Right. It's for parents that are looking to get their rights back and be able to make decisions in their children's lives. If anything, that should be a liberal ideal. That should be the NDP should be behind that entirely. This really shouldn't be a partisan thing. It doesn't feel partisan to me whatsoever, unless there's some sort of partisanship that hates parents. I don't know where we're at with that. But the name of it is Hands Off Our Kids. It's the second annual Million March for Children. Keep your hands off our kids. That's the slogan. And I've been telling people, there's no moment in time where it's appropriate for a teacher to advocate to a child that they have secrets about sexual things of a sexual nature. This is not right. It's in 9 days, 10 hours, 41 minutes. It'll be sooner by the time this airs. Go check it out. I want to thank you so much, Camille, for coming out and doing all this, putting all this work into this. And where can people find you online?
Well, handsoffourkids.ca is the website. We have a great team working around the clock, a team of very talented, selfless people. You can also catch me on Camille Media on TikTok. I am being shadow banned, Camille Al-Sheikh on Twitter. That's also kind of banned sometimes. I got back on Twitter. And then Facebook as well. Again, just come on out. This is your initiative. Take the day off, pack some lunch for your kids. Don't take them to school. Pack their lunch anyway, because you're going to be there all day at 8 a.m. sharp from coast to coast. By noon in Ottawa, the whole nation is going to be marching at the same time.
Absolutely. Check out the map. All the locations are on there. You can get all the information right on the website. Thanks again, Camille.
Clyde, thank you very much, brother.